Hi guys, so I'm in my car again. This seems to be like the place to make my sit down videos. So anyways, today I wanted to talk about social media and how people have opinions and have to give them all the time, even when it's not necessary or not even asked for. Now, I am all for, I think social media is great for certain things, but I think people get taken into it and they just kind of get worked up and they figure if you're posting anything, regardless if you're asking a question, you're just posting a picture, it could be a cute picture, it could be whatever, they have to give you their opinion about it, and there's no reason for it. Now, it's one thing, like, if you're asking, like, for questions, you know, like, I had a friend last night post about how her child was scared of monsters under the bed and was like, okay, I've tried everything. Like, anybody got ideas on what to do next? And so there was a lot of us who were like, well, we've tried this and this. And, you know, I feel like if you ask a question, that's where your opinion needs to go. A couple months ago, I don't know, there's a kid crying. Like, I can't see where it is, though. So anyways, a couple months ago, I posted a picture on Instagram, like I have been every school day, of Jeffrey's lunch. Now, this particular day, I just wrote with it, I wrote that I was sending a little more food today because it seems like every day previous, I don't know if it had been like a Wednesday or Thursday, but every day previous to that, he was coming home his totally empty lunch and he was starving. So I figured he was hungry. I needed to send more food. He can't tell me I'm getting hungry at school because he just doesn't have that vocabulary to, you know, vocalize to me, you know, I need more food. He can tell me, like, he doesn't like that. Like, if he comes home with a food and says, you know, I see that he didn't eat it, I'll ask him, like, well, why didn't you eat this? Don't you want to eat this at school? And he's been telling me that no, he wants to eat it at home, and that's fine. So that's a food I don't send to school. Whatever, that's fine. But he can't say I need more food at school. So this one day I just put, you know, Jeffrey's been coming home with an empty lunch, you know, I'm sending more food today. We must be going through a growth spurt, you know, the life with boys, and that was it. And I let it go. Now, a few hours later, I was getting a lot of messages, and I really wasn't checking my phone because I was doing things around the house. I wasn't really caring what was going on. Well, what happened was, apparently somebody that I was a friend with on Facebook, which, to be honest, I've never met this person I have never met them. This is just like through Facebook. They posted on my picture about how, well, he must not be getting enough protein, or he must not be getting this, and like went down and like, you need to be feeding him this, and this. And it went on, and a couple other people said the same thing. And I'm going, why am I getting responses like that? Like, I didn't say I didn't know why he was needing more food, or like it's because he's not having a balanced diet or whatever. I didn't say that. I even looked at my post and I'm like, did I ask a question? Like, inadvertently, like, put it out there as a question and I didn't know? No, I did not ask a question. Not only was I getting these comments, I was also getting positive comments too. Like, oh, I love that lunch idea. I'm going to do that for my kid. Like, that's great. Where did you get that? You know, I was getting those messages too, but then I was actually getting private messages from people saying, why are these people posting on your photo these negative comments? And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I clearly was not paying attention to Facebook for a few hours, and, you know, like you do throughout the day, and it like went batshit crazy. So I was reading back, and the comments that I was seeing that were, you know, well, he's not getting enough protein, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that, and da da da. There was those comments, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I did not ask, why was Jeffrey hungry? I was just saying that you know, he is a child who cannot vocalize that he is hungry at school. So I just want to send more food. And I went back and looked at my post and went, did I like put a question mark in there somewhere and totally forget about it? There was 0 questions, all right, in this post. So I really was to the point, there were so many messages that I'm like, I have to just put it out there on how I feel. So I did a mom rant like I have done in the past, and I labeled it that way so people would know. And I put out there that, you know, I appreciate that people wanted to give me their opinions on their thoughts on what Jeffrey should be eating, but they do not know what's going on in our house. They do not know what Jeffrey can and can't eat. He is a picky eater. We've had food issues in the past. this is like huge. What he is eating is massive compared to 6 months ago. When I was told he was going to be going to school full day, I actually was panicking because I'm like, what the hell am I going to send this kid? Because he really wasn't eating much. And now he's trying new things and he wants certain things, and that's amazing. And here I am, like, so happy with what he's eating at school. And these people were telling me that I'm doing it wrong. So I was having a lot of mom guilt. So I put it out there and I was like, look, I understand people have their opinions, and maybe I even worded it like this. I said, maybe I am just taking what you said the wrong way, but I am taking it negatively, and, you know, it's hurting, and I don't know why. And I didn't put people's names. I didn't want to put it out there. I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, I understand people want to give their opinions, but unless somebody asks you for your opinion, do not give it. Just keep it inside your head. Tell somebody, but you don't have to tell that certain person. And so I went on and on about this, and I put down, you know, I'm like, look, every child is different. There is no manual on how to raise a child for a reason, because there can't be, because every child is different. And then you put in the special needs on top of it, and forget it. I am friggin' done. Like, I can't take anymore. So these people putting negative comments, I'm done. And I said that. I'm like, I have enough on my plate. You do not know what's going on in our house. You know, you don't know what Jeffrey's doctor's saying. He is a happy, healthy child. His doctor has zero concerns about his eating, so neither should you. And I just put it out there like that. The response that I got on this post was incredible. I had so many people who were like, oh my God, I saw nothing wrong with anything. And I didn't say what it was about, what the post was about. I just said it was about a picture I posted today. People went back to go investigate because obviously they wanted to know. And they're like, I see nothing wrong. You're doing an amazing job. On and on and on. I had all positive comments. I was even getting private messages from people saying, look, I was offended by what this woman said and I wanted to say something. So I felt better that it wasn't just me taking what this person said the wrong way. And then my husband got home from work, and then obviously I told him what happened, and he read everything, and he goes, yeah, I don't like what she said either. Needless to say, I'm not friends with this person anymore. She actually even private messaged me and tried to explain herself. And it was like, look, you crossed the line, end of discussion. And she still was just trying to go on and on. It's like, you're not getting it. Like, you're just done. And I can't be bothered with this. There's so much going on in my life that I cannot deal with the negativeness that comes from social media and from certain people. Now, I get it. You have your opinion. That's great. But I don't need to know it. If you don't like what I'm doing, that's fine. But you don't need to put it out there. Just don't follow me. I don't give a crap. Like, seriously. But it's just, like, I get it. Like, I am the person that I understand we all have different opinions. You may not like something I do. I might not like something you do. But when it comes to kids and parenting, you need to shut your friggin' mouth, because everybody is doing their best and we all think that we were a bad mom several points throughout the day. Like, I felt like a horrible mom leaving Robert at home today because I had to go pick up Jeffrey from school and bring him to therapy. Robert has strep and cannot come with me. He could not come in the car. You know, he couldn't go get Jeffrey because then he wouldn't be able to stand out with me while I waited for Jeffrey. And he would scream if I left him in the car. Even if I literally was like right in front of the door and like literally left my car to go look at the door could be right in front of me to get Jeffrey. Robert would scream bloody murder. Like, that's how he is today. He cried so hard because I was leaving. He's with my mom. Like, he's fine. He's fine now, but he was upset that I had to leave. But it was like, I understood. He was sick. He wanted mommy. But guess what? Mommy needed to go do something with Jeffrey too. And my mom has never taken Jeffrey to therapy, so she didn't even know where she was going. Like, she needed to stay home with Robert. I needed to take Jeffrey. That was fine. But the thing is I felt like a bad mom. But I know I'm not. I have to do something for another child. It's not that I am neglecting Robert. I have to do this. So we all feel like that throughout the day. I can feel bad when my kids don't eat throughout the day because for whatever reason. But then there's days that they're eating like crazy and I'm like, am I not feeding you? Like, what is going on? I mean, 2 weeks ago, Ed and I had a Saturday where, I kid you not, our kids ate a meal like every hour. And it was crazy. I'm like, you are getting so much food. Like, what is going on? And then like yesterday, they barely ate. So, I mean, we all have those days where like, what are we doing wrong? But we're not. You are perfectly fine. Every child is different. I have little children. Like, I cannot do everything right. I'm trying my damnedest, and I'm not going to let anybody put me down because they think that their way is better. I have always been very good about not giving my opinion when it comes to parenting, because I don't want to hear your opinion, because you're going to make me feel bad if you think what I'm doing is wrong. You may think that me putting Jeffrey in therapy is wrong. You may think it's bad that I'm not putting him in certain therapies, which that's a whole different video I'm going to do. But when it comes to parenting and your views on parenting, it may not be the same for somebody else. Like, I have friends who parent completely different than me, and that's perfectly fine. And more power to you for doing things that I wouldn't even attempt to do. But then there's other things that I have done that, you know, my friends have been like, I wish I could have done that. So it is what it is. I mean, I have actually, in public, when people have said things to me, I actually tell them how I feel, because I literally cannot take the negativity, and people need to learn how to shut their mouth. I had one woman, I remember, Robert was little. I mean, he was an infant, like a few months old. I had just stopped nursing because my milk dried up. So I was in the formula aisle. Now I had Robert in the infant car seat in the cart, and then I had Jeffrey sitting in the cart. So I had two of my small babies. I think Jeffrey he was a little over a year old, because they are only 10.5 months apart, but I know Jeffrey was a year old. So here I am with two small children, and I'm in the formula aisle getting formula, and this older woman came up to me and was like, you know that breast milk is best. You shouldn't give him formula. And I'm like, who are you? Like, first off, you don't know if these are my children. I could be their nanny. I could have adopted them. You don't know. And so I literally said this to her. I said, I do know what's best. I actually am a lactation consultant, so I do know that breast milk is best. I did breastfeed them, but my milk ran out after a month. So thankfully there is formula, so I can feed my children and they don't die, because years ago that's what would have happened. And I just pushed my cart and left the aisle with a smile on my face. As I was at that point, I was pretty pissed off, because I was upset that I couldn't breastfeed, but at the same time, like, why is this woman putting me down for feeding my children? I'm sorry. I understand, yes, breast milk is fantastic. I think it is great, but formula is fine too. As long as your baby is fed, who cares if it's breast milk or formula? Like, your baby is fed, and that's what's important. And at that point, I was a sleep-deprived mom with two small children, and I didn't need anybody telling me what to do. So I am very bold when it comes to that. That's why if you do see some of the rants I have put out there, that is why, because I am very passionate about it. I do not believe that you should be judging other parents for what they're doing just because you may not think that it's the right way. It's working for their family. You know, some people didn't think it was great that we room shared with our boys, but at the time, one, it worked, and two, we had no other choice. It was a huge room. It worked. I know a lot of people who have done that. I know people who are still doing it, and their kids are my kids' age now. Like, I at least broke the cycle, though they do end up in our bed like they did last night. Robert was in our bed last night. But you need to just support each other and not give the negativity. We are going through enough stress. Being a parent is so stressful. I have anxiety all the time because I think I'm doing something wrong. And I know I'm not. My kids are happy and healthy, and that is all that matters. So really, the whole gist of this is to mind your own business. I am not saying don't give your opinion when it is valid, but if you are just pushing it on somebody, you need to stop, because you're probably making that person feel bad, and you might not even know that. So let's just all be so positive and just support each other. And if somebody asks you for an opinion, like if they ask you personally, or if they put it out there on social media asking a question, then give your opinion. Don't just give it because you think it's your turn to say something. So that's what I have to say today. This rant went on way longer than I thought it would, but I'm extremely passionate about like supporting each other and not being so negative and judgy. So I hope you'll have a great day. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.